These are the top three best maps in Siege as of 2025, in my opinion. At number three, we have Night Haven Labs. I see this map being used in a competitive scene more, and for good reason. I think this site, second floor, is one of the most balanced sites in the game. I see it being very fun to defend on and very fun to attack on. I don't remember the last time I've genuinely dislike defending or attacking on the site. Like unless the team is a lot better than us at doing whatever it is. But I think overall, like this site especially, extremely balanced. There are plenty of places for attackers to, push from, and there are plenty of strats to run defense to counter different attacker pushes. I just think overall it's a very enjoyable siege experience if you're attacking or defending on this site. So we'll quickly move down to first floor. I'd say first floor on whatever the frick it's called, garage. I think it's definitely probably the worst site on this map. It's not a bad site. It's not a great site. I can see it being lean more attacker sided because of how easy this to take site. But I mean that's literally the only thing on this map. I guess you could like sometimes argue for kitchen, but I do think overall it's not that hard to defend. I think overall, also pretty balanced, maybe slightly in favor of attackers. Um, but again, not if you know what you're doing, it's not very hard to defend from. You mainly just gotta worry about um, mainly just gotta worry about hatch, whatever the frick this room is, and hallway. Some people every now and then will try to get this wall open, but I see it kind of being done less and less. Um, it's just mainly, I don't know. It just feels like weird to me because like every single time I've played defense on kitchen, I feel like most of my team dies from roaming. It's kind of weird, but maybe that's just me. Now moving on down to basement. This map, or excuse me, this site could either go very defender sided or very attacker sided, depending on how it's being played. If the attackers get this breach open, 90% of the time the attackers are going to walk in and just sweep because if they this is probably the most common breaching point of this entire map. Even from some of the other places up in second floor. I think this site right here definitely is the most commonly breached because again, 9% of the time they get this, it's very easy to shut off a lot of these places or just plant in a corner. Because I don't remember the last time I have won where an attacking team has gotten the plant down or has walked in and gotten the breach open kill. But if you get that shut off, there's still options for attackers, but it genuinely makes it a lot harder for attackers to push. But I do think overall it's not that bad because they're pulling a soft walls that you can breach from. If you have a soft wall breacher like Ash or Buck, which Ash and Buck have been the meta for a long time now. But overall, yeah, Night Haven Labs extremely balanced, very fun to play on, one of the most fun maps to play on in the game. Sometimes it is my favorite map to play on, but as of right now, I'm feeling it's comfortable at three, so that's just me. At number two, this one's probably not very surprising. It's Oregon. Now, I know a lot of people will say Oregon is a very basic pick for a lot of people's favorite maps, which it is. But at the end of the day, Oregon really is just overall a great map. I, in one of my videos, I did say Oregon was a top three most defender-sided map in the game, but I do think what it does, and this is what really makes some siege sites sort of fun, even when they're defender-sided, is that it forces the attacking team to play good siege, run strats and break down the defense, which to me is fun because even though top floor Oregon is a defender sided site, I do think it makes attacking fun. Not to the point where it's maps Tower or something like that that just suck to attack on because defenders could literally come from anywhere. I do think it's very balanced and it makes attacking fun. Even though it's difficult, it challenges you, and I think challenging things are fun in this game, even though it's not some places are like literally unbearable. But not one of them. I think it's very even, and yeah, most sites or most games will probably lean towards a bit towards defense in terms of outcomes. But moving down to Kitchen, I think Kitchen and whatever the heck that room is, and heck this room up here, both very even sides. I'd say it's a toss-up. Well, honestly, I'd say it's too like inconsistent. I wouldn't have enough like I don't have enough experience playing on these sites to give like a fair judgment of how like defender or attacker sided they are. I think they're toss-ups. Like sometimes I've had defensive blowouts, sometimes I've had, attacking blowouts on on these two sites over here. So I probably don't have enough data, but overall, yeah, they're just toss-ups to go either way. Now moving down to basement, I'd say this is a true like 50-50 site right here. I mainly push like if I'm on attack. I usually push from bunker a lot, but overall, I do think there are plenty of spots around this. Like Mira is basically a must on this site, and Azami. I see some people run Azami a lot because concepts you can have, but also like a lot of people run like like Ash or well that's like 90% of Siege players. But overall, again, it's really not much detail that's needed to go into this. I think it's just a very even map, and that's just how I've kind of, that's how I've had it over the past while for Basement on Oregon and for a majority of sites in this. So, or a majority of sites in this map. But yeah, that's just me. At number one, we have Clubhouse. Now, some of you might have seen this coming, some of you might not have, but I think overall, site for site, I think Clubhouse is the most balanced map in the game. I think second floor right here, honestly, out of all the sites here, besides first floor, which sucks, it doesn't suck, but it's just not very good. I think that second floor, at least bedroom and gym are, honestly probably lean towards attack the most out of like CTTV and basement. I'd say it's more attacker sided, but it is like extremely neutral. I don't think it leans any certain way. Golly, my rook sucks. But because I do think that again, it's like Oregon. There are plenty of defensive stats you can run, plenty of offensive stats, and they both work really well. Like I'd say it's about 50-50 whenever I have, a game on whether I'm attack on defense. Go either way most of the time. Enough of that though. But again, I think this map or this site is extremely even, like dead 50-50. Cash room. I do think that this is well, either this or basement is definitely the most defender-sided, but it's not overly defender-sided. I'd say defending is, like, it's not, like, super easy. It is kind of easy, but it's not, like, to the point where attackers just like, oh, man, I got to attack on CCTV now. Like, this freaking sucks. That's really not. But I will say, as a defender, the one thing that absolutely pisses me off is this drone hole right here. The amount of times I've died to a C4, excuse me, not a C4, a Claymore through this drone hole is absolutely insane. Like, it's just, I never expected, I died to it over and over again. I've kind of started to realize that now, but I've died to it so many times. Overall, I'd say this is probably the most, like, defender side, just because, like, it's very easy to reinforce site. Like, if you have a good bandit, or, like, let's say you have bandit and Kane, you can probably, like, close off a lot of these walls, and it's kind of hard to reach from as an attacker sometimes. But I feel like, again, it does challenge attackers, and that is what I think makes the game fun, as attacking, like breaking down other team's defense, where it's not like so defender side, like for example Favela, which just like absolutely sucks to attack on, where like everyone can roam, and then like, I don't know, just the map layout sucks. Like, I do think this map is genuinely, it's difficult to attack on, but that's what makes it fun. It's fun but difficult to attack on, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm not even going to talk about first floor. this map absolutely, I mean, no, this site sucks. Like, it just flat out sucks. You're either going to have the most, like, defender-sided or attacker-sided round on this. Heck, it could be the most, like, down-to-the-wire map or match. It could be either the most defender-sided match or the most attacker-sided. Like, no one picks this map, like, or this site. This site freaking sucks. Like, it just flat out sucks. There's really not much to say about it, but that's literally the only outlier in this entire site. Like, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's really not that bad, but it's definitely, like, by far the worst site out of every single one on this list, like, including all the other maps. But for the last site, we have Basement, which I do think leans defenders, but it's not as defender-sided. Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. It's not as defender-sided as Cash Room is, because I do think, like, it's not very hard to breach. It's not that hard to breach this site, like, if you know what you're doing. There are, like, how many there's? 1, 2, 3 hatches? Yeah, about 3. So, I mean, that's already a lot to begin with. And then there's stairs, you know, there's a tunnel over here. And, I mean, it's really not that bad to attack from, because there are, I think, a bunch of different ways to attack this site. It's not like some sites, like, for example, second floor Oregon, which are defender-sided, that, like, most teams just do the exact same thing to attack every round. But yeah, I think, again, yeah, multiple different ways you could attack the site, not overly defender-sided, slightly in favor of defense, but it's not the worst thing ever. But yeah, I'd say, like, overall, site for site, I would say Clubhouse is the most balanced in the game, and definitely probably the most fun, in my opinion. But that's just me.